My dear students, let me discuss with you a poem titled Work, which is written by D.H. Lawrence. He wrote this poem in the beginning of 20th century. Industrialization, which started in 19th century, already started giving its result. Mechanization of work and mass production has made people stopped doing all their handicrafts or using their work, doing work using their hands. But here D.H. Lawrence speaks against this kind of mechanization, and he says that we should destroy machines and go back to nature. So that is the main theme of this poem. So he says that stop using machines, destroy machines and go back to nature. Start making things using your hands like we used to do before industrialization. So the beginning of the poem tells us how work should be. There is no point in work unless it absorbs you. So when you do work, it should completely absorb you like an absorbing game. So you feel very happy, you get completely absorbed when you play video games or playing a cricket game. So you get completely absorbed in what you do. Like that, when you do work, you also should get absorbed completely. If it doesn't absorb you, if you don't feel happy, if your work does not absorb you, then if it is never fun, what we should do? Don't do it. If your work does not give you any fun, or if you don't feel happy when you do a work, or if it does not absorb you, then it is of no use doing it. Don't do it. So how you should go to office, or as students how you should go to college? When a man goes out to work, he is alive like a tree in spring. ವಸಂತ ಋತುವಿನಲ್ಲಿ ಚಿಗುರಿದ ಮರದ ಥರ ನಾವು ಕೆಲಸಕ್ಕೆ ಹೋಗಬೇಕು ಅಂತ. ಸೊ he says, so a man goes out to work, he is alive. You should be alive, not yawning. You should be alive, active like a tree in spring. He is living. So work means living and not merely working. Work means it is life. It should completely absorb you. It is not just doing something mechanically like machines do. So he gives us some examples. So in the next stanza he gives us the example of Hindu weavers. So as D.H. Lawrence belongs to England, so this poem was written during British rule in India. So he at that time India was famous for its textile industry and beautiful handmade clothes. So that's why he says, when the Hindus weave, when Hindu weavers weave thin wool into long lengths of stretch. When they make such thin clothes using wool, how do they do it? They are all poor people. So with their thin dark hands, how absorbed they are. Just imagine, just have a picture of this kind of weaving process. With their dark hands, thin hands, but wide dark eyes. What do you mean wide eyes? Means they are completely absorbed into the task, and their still souls means they don't even shake. They are completely absorbed in their handiwork. So still souls absorbed, they are like the slender trees. How do they appear? They look like thin trees because they are very thin. They are poor weavers, and their hands are very thin and dark, but their eyes are wide, shows lot of concentration, and their body is stiff and still, and they're completely absorbed. They'll stand or they sit like slender trees. Just imagine a small thin trees putting forth leaves. So how trees are trees produce leaves, they come out from their trunk. So similarly, these beautiful cloth, thin cloth comes out from the dark hands of these weavers. So like trees produce their own views, these Hindu weavers produce these clothes as if it is coming out of them. So much devotion, so much dedication, so much absorption, and long white web of living leaf. So they bringing out this beautiful cloth, thin cloth like the living leaf. The tissue they are weaving tissue. So much absorption they do when they get absorbed when they do weaving. Similarly, we should be like that. And they clothe themselves, means they completely cover themselves with into their task. in white as a tree clothes itself in its own foliage. A tree which is covered with its own foliage. Foliage means leaves. A tree is covered with its own leaves. Similarly, these weavers are covered with their own thin clothes that they produce. So this is how we can make clothes. Not just clothes, we can extend it to all other types of works or the products that we do. We should not manufacture, we should make them. As with cloth, how like how weavers this weave the clothes, in the same way we can make houses also, we can make ships, we can make shoes and wagons, vehicles and cups and loaves. Men might put them forth as a snail. So how does a snail gets a shell? It makes, or it is made from its own body. So snail, it's a shell. How does a bird make its nest? It makes, it uses its beak to make the nest. A bird that leans its breast against the nest, it to make it round. So how you must have seen how beautifully these birds make their nest so nicely shaped. We can't even make like that. So they are all like the engineers. They are the born engineers, natural engineers. So how birds make nest, how snails make their own shells, and similarly we humans should make use of our hands to make things. We should not depend on machines. So how turnip, or this turnip root models its round root, how beautifully round shaped these turnip are. And the bush make flowers and gooseberries. How these bush bring out, put forth flowers and gooseberries. Putting them forth, they make them. They don't manufacture. They don't get into mass production like we do through machines. So cities might be as once they were, bowers grown out from the busy bodies of people. So cities are also, once upon a time they were the forest. We have destroyed forest to make cities. So let us stop doing all these things. Let us smash machines. We don't need machines. We can make beautiful things using our hands. So that's what the poet says. At last, for the sake of clothing himself in his own leaf-like cloth, tissued from his life. So like how we make clothes, how we can make clothes using our hands, and we can make houses also. Dwelling his own bowery house, beautifully, naturally made house, shady house, like a beaver's nibbled mansion, like a beaver. Beaver is the name of a bird. How it makes beautiful mansion, palace, using its nib. Nib means beak, and drinking from cups that came off his fingers, like flowers of their fivefold stem. How this flower blossoms from the fivefold stem. From the fivefold stem, how flower blossoms. So we can also make our own cups which you used to drink. He will cancel. So I'm hopeful. So that's what the poet says at the end of his poem. He says in the last line, he says he will cancel. He here means man. I'm sure, I hope one day he will cancel machines we have got. So like we know how we are experiencing being locked down at home. So we know that all the factories are closed. So we are trying to live with the minimum basic necessities. So that's what D.H. Lawrence is saying here. He will cancel the machines we have got. We have to make things. We should not manufacture things. We should make things using our hands. Like these Hindus weave beautiful clothes using their hands, with their thin dark hands. How the snail makes its own shell, how birds make their beautiful nest. So we can also do that. We should not be dependent on machines. Let us all smash, destroy machines. We shall cancel machines and let us get back to work. So that's what this poem tells us. Thank you.